Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? Um, is the audio coming through good? The video? Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? Um, all right. We've got a lot going on. I mean, we've got a lot going on in the nation. We got a lot going on in the world right now. And it's getting a little crazy. And we're going to talk about a lot of it tonight. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the giveaway that's coming up tonight. With this giveaway that I got tonight, I promise you'll never have to take any crap again. And it's Porta Wipes, the little portable toilet wipes, the expandable towels. We have two of these for those that stick around and till the giveaway, and you'll get one each. It's got 10 towels in each one, and those are some pretty cool little things. I got like a box of 500, probably more than that, but got quite a bit of them, and gonna, give a couple of them away tonight, for those that are interested. So I hope everybody is having a great night so far. I hope we're having a great night. No matter what's going on in the world, we can still, have a good night. But before I get started, a quick word from our sponsors for this video. Hey, it's spring and it's time for a clear out. Not just the house and garden stuff, but the finances as well. If you've been thinking about starting an IRA or 401k, Noble Gold is giving away a genuine, rare Carson City minted Morgan silver dollar with every qualifying IRA or 401k this month. So give your investments a spring clean too, and go to www.noblegoldinvestments.com to find out more. Again, that's www.noblegoldinvestments.com. All right. That was a word from our sponsors from the video. I thank them for helping out with the video. The TV show that we talked about is going to be called Surviving Chernobyl. And it's going in front of some major networks right now. And hopefully that TV show will work out pretty good. And y'all might see me on that show. And it'll be pretty interesting surviving an actual radioactive area and trying to bypass the area without taking any radiation at all and making it to a safe point within 8 days. And it's going to be a very long journey through what's called the Red Forest over there. So it's going to be really interesting, put my survival skills to the test. And looking forward to it. Been stuck up here in Michigan a while, and with this lockdown that we've had for the last year and a half, it's like I feel like I haven't even left the house much, and I'm used to being able to get out and do stuff like most of us are, and getting a little stir crazy. Want to go out and do something. So just hoping that that'll be out soon. I think about this summer sometime we're probably going to film that or shoot that, and then after that. Hopefully it'll air by the fall. And I think that'll be pretty interesting. It's going to be a great experience for me, and it's going to be a great experience. And they're still taking contestants. So anybody that is interested, now this is a 32-day event. Okay. So if you're interested, it will be 32 days in Ukraine, Chernobyl, and 2 weeks, I think 2 to 3 weeks of filming, then, a week or two of prep time. And if you're interested, I'm going to put my email address right here, and I'll forward all the information. I've had a few other people that were interested, and I'll forward the information to the producer, and they're like making a list, and I'm not sure who they'll contact or who they want, but if you are interested, then, check it out. So email me at survivor@SeriousSurvivor.com. I just want to make sure I spelled that right. All right. So I'm glad everybody's having a good night. And Dr. Prepper, not sure what channel yet. It's up in the air. It's sort of going to be between Discovery, National Geographic, and History Channel, believe it or not. But hopefully it's going to be on one of those channels. And, it's still in the works. And they sent me a video because I did a I had to run some lines through, on my webcam here with them a few weeks back, and they put a video together, and I was really surprised because it was like featuring me as the main contestant. And the video was pretty awesome. I can't share it yet, but hopefully in the next week or two, I can share this. And what this video is, it's a promo video, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I have to admit, they did a good job putting it together, and I think it's going to be really interesting. So I look forward to sharing that with everybody. And y'all know, watching my channel, I'm always talking about nuclear war and surviving, nuclear fallout and stuff like that. So this is like right up my alley, especially since I'll get to, have the gear I need, which is a radiation detector and a dosimeter. Those are the most important things in that type of environment. But, I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope it does get aired. I hope we don't shoot it and nothing happens. That would be bad. All right. Mary, I think it might. You say, do I think this? Let me bring that comment up because I want to reply. Think this saber rattling with Russia will mess up the show? I think it very well might. That's a good possibility. I'm just trying to remain a little optimistic here about it. But I think it may mess up a lot of things. And Russia is one of the things I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. Russia's got some people. We think we've got advanced technology, and we talk about China has advanced technology. Russia's been in the background because China has moved to the forefront, and everybody's talking about China, and everybody already talks about the U.S. So they're talking about China, the U.S. Those are the technological giants. They're counting out Russia, and Russia has come up with some major innovations over the last few years, including an invisible suit of armor. And I'm going to be showing some things about that a little bit later. And that's pretty scary. You think about it, a suit of armor that a soldier can wear or a platoon can wear. And you're not going to see them until you're within 7 meters of that person or that soldier. That's a very, that's crazy. That's crazy. But we're going to look at that a little bit more as time goes by tonight. All right. First thing I want to talk about was just briefly, because I know you've been watching the news. I know you already know as much as I do on this, and it's stacking the Supreme Court is what's being proposed. And we saw that Biden a few days ago, appointed a commission that for 6 months, he actually set a timeline on this, 6 months, they will come up with a solution for the Supreme Court. And, that right there tells us something. If they're going to come up with a solution for the Supreme Court, then, first of all, we're asking, what's the problem? The Supreme Court has had this same number of justices for over 100 years. It's been over 100 years since the number of justices has changed in the Supreme Court. And it didn't necessarily go up. We've had more justices than we do right now. But over the first initial stages of that, what happened was they just basically trial and error. 3 judges, 4, 9, 6. And now we have the number that we have now. They're actually, at saying they want 4 more justices. Think about that. The Supreme Court is conservative leaning at this point, and we all know that. But with 4 more seats that would suddenly come available in 6 months, then this would be left leaning forever. We would never be able to change that. There's a lot of people out there that are talking about, the next elections, and I'm trying to take that. There we go. And the next elections and all, we need to vote Republican. We need to do this. We need to run for office. And that is great. That's great in a normal situation, but we all know we're not in a normal situation. Look at the world. We look at the world around us and we see something that's almost alien to us. And, everything that's going on right now, it's coming to a head pretty soon. There's too much going on right now for all of it to just go away. Think about that. We've got so many situations in the world, so many situations locally in our nation, that, this isn't just going to go away. Our problems are not going to go away. They're not going to go away with an election. They're not going to go away with any official, with any politician. And it's really hard to say that, how we're going to straighten this mess out. But the thing is, we just got to stand strong, and we got to, hold true to our beliefs as, as people, as individuals. You got to stand true by your family, by those you love. Kyle says they need 40 judges. Well, when we look at the way that politics has evolved in the United States, politics is, our government is no longer an institution that is there to protect us. Originally, the federal government was founded to defend the United States as a nation. It was not founded to dictate rules and laws to individuals in every state. It was founded to protect the states should we need it. But now it has evolved into something else. The political game has evolved into a business game. These are not politicians. These are businessmen and businesswomen. And they are making a killing off of us. They are getting rich off of us. Look at Nancy Pelosi's mansion. She's filthy rich from being a politician. If I had that much money, if I had a house like that, working the job I work, and I have a decent job, working the job I work, and I had a house like that, because I make as much money as a politician makes. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this do too, because politicians are not supposed to be filthy rich. That was the whole design of it from the beginning. They were supposed to be people that represented the people. And it just isn't that way anymore. If I suddenly bought an $18 million mansion tomorrow, I would have the FBI, the ATF, these who knows what else acronyms crawling down my back tomorrow, wanting to know where I got that money from. And I'm sort of curious as to why they're not doing that to her, or why they're not doing that to all of them, because you don't make that kind of money in politics. And we all know that. I mean, it's so corrupt. It's so corrupt that we cannot put our faith in the political system. We cannot put our faith. We cannot trust everything the government tells us. And I think everybody knows that. But, the real question is, what can we do about it? And the answer is nobody knows. I mean, there's no one thing we can do to change this nation. There's not one thing, not one simple thing we can do. It's going to be a culmination of multiple acts over a period of time. Now, I want to show you a little something here. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm also going to post this link. And this link right here, we all know it anyway, but I'm sure you're familiar with Project Veritas, or Veritas, however he pronounces that. And it's where he goes and pretends, or has someone pretend like they're doing business with this company, and he'll record them and he'll put them, on the internet. Now, he got sued in Michigan, and this almost resulted in a state law change in Michigan. And that change is, just real quick on that, is what's called the one-party law. Depending on what state you live in, you got one or two laws you have to follow if you're recording somebody. The one-party law or the two-party law. The one-party law means that as long as one person who is actively engaged in that conversation can legally record everybody else in that conversation. The two-party law means that all people, thank you there, Justin. Thank you very much. And the two-party law means that all parties in that conversation have to give consent to be recorded. And, depending on where you live is what depends on whether that's one or two party. In Michigan, it was one party. I'm from South Carolina. That's my home, not Michigan. I just temporarily live here. But in South Carolina, it's a one-party law too, which means you are legally allowed to record someone as long as you are participating in that conversation. And you think about this thing, and it made me think about it when I first read about it. And that's because what made me think about it was, when you call Verizon Wireless, and I'm not saying anything negative about Verizon Wireless here, just the first name that popped into my head. But when I call them, they record my conversations with or without my consent. When I call any business, they record my conversation with or without my consent. When I walk onto a property, they record a business property, they record my presence there, my audio, my video without my consent. And they don't have to post that most times. A lot of places will post that. The reason they post that is to deter criminals, basically. They don't post that because they legally have to. They post that so that people will realize, hey, I'm on camera, so I'm not going to steal anything, But the one party, and what I was getting at there, sort of got a little off on that. But what I was getting at was Project Veritas. When they did this, he was interviewing people, acting like he was interested in purchasing their product, or acting like he was one of their, I guess you would say, allies, and recording it. We're all familiar with that. And he posted this, and I really want to share this. So I'm going to share this screen, but I need to pull this up first. Give me 1 second. And here we go. I'm still getting used to this new software, y'all. So give me a minute. But I think I got it now. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Project Veritas. He recorded a CNN executive. And I'm going to post this link before I forget about it. Copy. And paste there. All right. But I'm going to read a couple of his quotes here. Earlier this week, Project Veritas published an explosive video of Chester, which is this guy's name, something Chester, Mr. Chester, boasting that CNN helped defeat the former president, Donald Trump, and even calling his own employer propaganda. And these are exact quotes that came from the man's mouth here. Look at what we did. We got Trump out, Chester said in a celebratory tone. I am 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got voted out. Now, he goes on to say, and check this article out if you get the chance, and investigate it further, because this is, exactly what we're talking about. He goes on to say, talking about COVID, he says, COVID, this is gangbusters with ratings, right? Which is why we constantly have the death toll on the side, which I have no problem with, or I have a major problem with, he says. How we're tallying how many people die every day. Now, this guy was caught on tape, and there's much more in here. But the thing that really, got me was the fact that I want to read the propaganda one he said. All right. And, right here. This is exactly what everybody's talking about the mainstream media right now. And this is in quotes from a CNN executive. You can shape an entire people's perception about anything on how you do it, he said, just by forcing a story to help like your platform, So he's basically saying right there, just like we've all seen before, is that the narrative, what people believe in our country, there we go, what people believe, cancel, is what they see on TV. I mean, how many people do you know that do not, that their opinion is formed by what they watch on TV? There is such a lack of people these days, especially younger generations. And I don't mean to offend the younger generation, but I'm just speaking the truth because I meet a lot of them. I'm a teacher, a robotics instructor, so I meet a lot of younger people. When I say younger, I mean in their 20s, in their early 30s. And I see how they talk and how they think. And I can see the same things coming out their mouth that you see on CNN, NBC, CBS, all the mainstream media. They are absolutely not thinking for themselves anymore. this younger generation has been brainwashed, like I talked about in my last video, like they're doing to the kids right now. And it shows. It really shows. And this is disturbing because of some of the other things we're getting into here tonight. This is going to be a really big mess for us, y'all. This is going to be a huge mess. I mean, like I've said before, I'm 50. I got more behind me than I got in front of me. But we're going to see a lot of bad stuff coming up. And it's not me I'm worried about. And no offense, but it's not people my age I'm worried about. I'm worried about those kids. I'm worried about the younger generation that is going to grow up in this when, we didn't have to. All right, so we saw that on Project Veritas. Now, a little bit about Russia. And the main reason I'm going to touch on Russia is because we're going to touch on something that's a little closer to home here in a minute. But, Russia had a lot of diplomats, expelled from the U.S. today or a couple of days ago, yesterday. There's been a lot going on. Biden comes out and he says, we're going to increase sanctions against Russia. We're going to expel these diplomats. And the diplomats were supposedly, like with the Russian intelligence department. And I'm sure they were. And all this centered around some hacking attacks that happened a little while back. And I'm all for that. But I'm sort of still, in a way, questioning his activities there because he's expelling Russia when we have so much evidence against China for doing the same things on a much larger scale to our nation than Russia has done. China has really attacked this nation. China has attacked this nation multiple ways. One of the ways is stealing our technology. This has been going on for years. Where do you think you get them $20 Nikes at on the internet? They come from China, from some little sweatshop over there that's producing these and making money off the name Nike. Not that I care about Nike, because I don't, but I just using that as an example. But China is a huge threat. But this also, it's like a big circle. It's like a big circle. It's so crazy. It's so crazy these days. Hunter Biden is in bed with China. He's done took so much money from him. Biden is also there, and he's done took so much money for him. Hey, y'all, sometimes I try YouTube blocks comments. I'm not sure what the criteria for blocking a comment is, and it pops up on my screen. Sometimes it says, this is blocked, show or hide. But if I don't click on it right away, it goes away. I always click show because I want people's comments to show, because I want people's opinions to, be stated here. So if for some reason you put a comment and it doesn't pop up there, put it in again, and I'll make sure to hit it, and let it show up so that everybody can see it, because we're all about, hey, we're Americans. We're all about free speech. We're all about speaking our minds. We're all about, doing what we feel like we should do. And going back to China, he's imposing all these sanctions on Russia. Expelling these diplomats while we've got Russian subs in the Arctic Sea, while we've got this new weapon that Russia's developed in the, up there in the Arctic Ocean that supposedly can create a tsunami that's radioactive. And, that's not unbelievable. When people hear the word tsunami, we think, this is a mile-high wave coming towards the coast. That's not necessarily a tsunami. A tsunami can be 5 or 6 feet high, and that's what these type of weapons do. A lot of people, discount this. They discount that. They say, well, that's not going to happen. Well, maybe it won't, but the possibility is still there. What these weapons will do is they're not designed to create a mile-high tsunami. They're simply designed to create a 5 or 6 foot tidal surge. Think about it. When Katrina hit down in Louisiana, New Orleans, think about what happened there. That was not a mile-high tsunami, was it? No, that was a tidal surge. I'm not sure of the exact height. I'm going to say 10, 12 feet. All right, and look at the damage it did. Now, imagine if that tidal surge, all of that water that was pushed onto land from the ocean was radioactive or had radioactive elements in it, because water cannot be radioactive, but it can contain radioactive elements. And when the water recedes, it will leave those radioactive elements behind. And that's the purpose of this weapon that Russia is developing. They're not thinking about a tsunami that's going to wipe out half the coast. They're thinking about a tidal surge. You detonate a nuclear weapon half a mile off coast, it's going to evaporate so much water. The water is going to collapse on itself. It's going to expand back out, and you're going to have a huge tidal surge all across the coastline of wherever that's detonated at. Now, is that tidal surge going to destroy that area? No, that tidal surge will not. It's going to flood it a little bit. But when it recedes, guess what? You got radium, you got all types of radioactive isotopes that are left behind by that water, because a lot of that water would be trapped there. It will evaporate, and those radioactive isotopes will still remain. And that will make that coastline uninhabitable until the area is either cleaned up with decontamination agents or time, one of the two. This is a very dangerous weapon, and it won't take many of them to isolate an entire coastline of the United States. And hopefully, we have the means in place to defend against that. But we see this aggression, from Biden towards Russia. We see aggression from Russia towards us. So we're meeting aggression with aggression. And that's only going to lead to one thing. I think we all know what it's going to lead to. It's probably not going to lead to an all-out nuclear war. And the reason why I think that's not going to happen is because there is too much going on in the United States right now. They don't need to nuke us. That's going to make sense in a minute. Now, China can do anything they want, right? And Biden's just going to sit on his chair. He's going to sit there and turn his head the other way and not even notice it, because China has destroyed a lot of the world's trade. And China does this. So what a lot of people don't realize, they're like, well, why is it so bad to trade with China? Well, okay, China builds factories, and they build apartment buildings beside those factories. The workers for that factory live in that apartment building, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them in one room. And when it's time to work, they leave that apartment, they go to work, and they work until they're told they can leave. Then they go back to their apartment, they sleep, and they come back to work, and they work until they're told they can leave. There are no labor laws in China, and that's why their labor is so cheap. Think about the labor laws we have in the United States. Think about the safety regulations. Think about the requirements of an industrial facility, a manufacturing facility must meet to be able to employ people and produce a product. OSHA, whichever way you like to pronounce it, and all of the other safety committees, they have more rules and regulations than a person could probably read in their lifetime. And these come up with some pretty hefty fines, some pretty steep penalties here. And to do business in the U.S. is one of the most expensive places to own a manufacturing facility in the world. And now Biden's going to be raising the taxes on manufacturing and industrial facilities. So that's going to put those out of business. But when you look at a country like China that basically says, hey, as long as we're making money, none of this other stuff matters. Here, when you work around molding presses that close with 300 tons of pressure, when you work around robots that move at 100 miles an hour, because they literally do, and you have to have all these safety requirements that prevent people from stepping into this area, that prevent this equipment from shutting on them. In China, you don't have that. And in China, they don't necessarily force their people to work like slave labor. They don't make them work for free. They basically say, hey, we got 1 point something billion people here in China. You do the job for 25, 50 cents an hour, or you go out on the street or into the woods. And people do it because they have to. They have no other choice. Now, in some of the larger cities in China, it's much different. But in the manufacturing facilities, I think a lot of people will be surprised at what's going on. Completely. Oh, that's a great point. I'm going to get into that. Okay, Keisha. Completely disabling all radars and control circuits on board that U.S. destroyer. Russia proved their electronic warfare jamming system could completely cripple the entire U.S. Navy. And that's absolutely true. Yeah, it's 100% true. And we sit here and we talk about the U.S. We've got the strongest military in the world, but we really have to question that. And I don't mean that to anybody in the military. So I want to be clear about that. I don't mean that to anybody in the military. What I mean is, yes, over the last 4 years, a lot of money was invested in our military. But over the last 16 years before that, nothing was invested in our military. Military spending was at an all-time low. Bases were closing. Technology was slowly just not developing. And we're at a point right now to where, I would love to say we're the number one superpower in the world. But, you think about Russia, you think about China right now, and it's a pretty good toss-up. It's a pretty good toss-up. I support our military 100%. I'd go fight beside them today if I had to. But, I support us. But I don't have faith in the people that are delegating the money, the people that are setting the budget, the people that are making the decisions up top. I don't believe that, those people are competent enough to maintain our military at the top levels of the world. That is a good point, too. That is a very good point. Whether it's Russia or China, people are ignoring that due to our immigration policy. We could have thousands of sleeper cells waiting to knock out transformers or water processing. I think that a lot of people, I agree with you 100% there, Jay. I think a lot of people don't realize how easy it is to take down a grid. I mean, think about this. Somebody crashes into a telephone pole, drunk driving, with their car, then, powers out to multiple houses. What happens if a sleeper cell goes to a transformer station and just throws a few pipe bombs in there? They don't have to even do anything sophisticated. Throw pipe bombs in there and blow up that substation, powers out to an entire town. Okay. And that's with just anybody doing it. Anybody in the world could do that. I mean, hell, you can go on YouTube right now and figure out how to build a pipe bomb. And I'm not saying do that. I'm not condoning it, YouTube, there before you put me in YouTube jail again. But what I'm saying is that's easy to do. Imagine what a coordinated attack could do to this power grid. Imagine 20 sleeper cells in major U.S. cities with C4 or plastic explosives that take out not just the substations, but take out the generating stations, those generating plants. I mean, this is more likely, that's more likely than an all-out nuclear war. And they actually caught, and I hate to say a number here because I don't have the article or documents in front of me, so I'm going to say some. They caught some, what they called sleeper cells, terrorist cells, coming across the southern border. And this was in the last week. I read this article in the last week. And, this is something, we're facing something on all fronts, and we're fixing to, really see things. We're fixing to really see things that this nation's never seen before. So, yeah. What are they waiting for? Their artist. Is that artist? I want to make sure. Yeah. Nobody really knows what they're waiting for before they, do what they do. I would assume it's waiting for coordination, that it's waiting for all of the cells or all of the units, however you want to phrase it, to be in place. And once they're all in place, then that's when we can expect it. But we're facing so much right now. We're facing so much. I mean, we are at odds, more at odds with Russia than we have ever been. And, a lot of people say, well, Russia's only got 100 million people. Well, Russia's got the largest country in the world. Russia has more nuclear weapons than we have. And if you really research Russia's military over the last few years, then they have advanced so far. They're right there on the level with us. I mean, we think we've got the greatest technology in the world. We don't anymore. We don't. We may have in some areas, but in other areas, they got us beat. And that's what makes it concerning. It's not concerning that another country has technology. It's not concerning that they have technology. It's concerning that our government is so ineffective at dealing with other countries that this technology now becomes a threat to us. As American people, as all of us watching this video and all the people we know, we don't want a nuclear war. I don't want a nuclear war. But our government, I don't think they want a nuclear war, but our government definitely does not have mine and your concerns, as something that they're even concerned about. Our government is, and I'm not just talking about this because of Biden. Okay. I'm not a huge Biden fan, but, at the same time, I've been critical of a lot of, of our government all the time. And that's because our government has evolved into what it shouldn't be. Our government has evolved into a controlling entity that has its fingers in every aspect of your everyday life. Think about it. What laws do you know that are local and not federal? The feds have so many laws. There are so many laws on the record books right now, or on the law books right now, that, realistically speaking, there's not a whole lot we can do, without breaking one of these laws. Things that I'm saying right now could be interpreted a different way, and I could be in jail tomorrow. Firearms I own could be, especially if some of these new executive orders go through, could be illegal, and I could be in jail tomorrow. Our government is, our own government is a bigger threat to us as any nation in the world. And I really hate to say that. I never thought I would be saying that, but I am saying it now because I believe it. That's what I'm saying. Alien technology. Glad you said that. Did everybody see the news broadcast over the last couple of days to where they showed new footage of, supposedly alien spacecraft? And the military said they're coming out with an explosive, in their words, explosive report in June on alien technology. And it makes you wonder, what are they going to come out and say? What are they going to come out if this is an explosive report? Because, you think about the things we hear about on a daily basis. So if this is going to be explosive, it's got to be something big. It's got to be something really big. It's not going to be something little. And if they're announcing it now and this report isn't coming out until June, I don't know. There's no telling what we're going to see in that. I've watched a lot of that footage, and it's hard. You're an alien. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. Well, let's hit home a little closer. We see the riots going on in Minnesota. And we see, we hear, I guess you would say, a lot of talk going on through the world. And this is all going to tie in together. Now, I'm not going to say, I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened in all these situations. But there's two things going on in Minnesota right now that are causing riots. My concern, I hope that people get justice, and I hope that anybody that's guilty, whoever that may be, is punished. But my concern, because I am not a judge, I am not a lawyer, I'm not a jury member, so I have no say in that. My concern is seeing what's going on in the streets, though. I understand there's a lot of frustration in the United States right now. There's a lot of frustration in the world. But a lot of this frustration goes right back to that news article that we read earlier from Project Veritas, to where they were talking about CNN and the other news organizations pushing the narrative, and that was in his own words, that they were dictating what people thought. They were dictating what people thought. And That's what's happening. Everybody is concerned whether someone has been done wrong, whether someone has been, hurt when they shouldn't be, someone's been killed when they shouldn't be. We're all concerned about that. But this is being pushed in a political manner. We had Russians expelled from the U.S. today. 4 months ago, people at the Capitol rioted, and there was a lot of damage that was caused. One lady lost her life, and we haven't heard anything else about that. She was shot by a Capitol Hill police officer climbing through a window, and she was unarmed. All right. So that fits the narrative, don't it? Unarmed person shot by police. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, not even going there. But I'm saying that's what they're saying about these riots. Unarmed person shot by police. Okay, well, where's the concern there? Where's the concern there? Now, I don't want anybody to get shot by police. I don't want anybody to get hurt by anybody, of course. But we have to put things in perspective, too. I'm just going to put it bluntly. If a law enforcement officer comes to my door and tells me I'm going to jail, and I know I haven't done anything wrong, I guess I'm going to jail tonight. And I will sue them, tomorrow. But I'm not going to fight him, because something my granddaddy always told me. He said, it doesn't matter how fast your car is, you can't outrun the radio. Well, it doesn't matter how bad you are, how tough you are these days, you can't outrun the video. So why? Why are you going to fight with the police? And when you do, I know for a fact, if I try to fight a police, then I'm going to very well get shot. Common sense. If you just look back over the last few years, common sense tells you if you fight against the police, you might get shot. So why are you still going to do that? If you're doing that, then, you either, I don't even know what to say, because I'm not going to do it. I'm not committing any crimes. So if I get locked up, then I guess I'll have a lawsuit. But other than that, you got people that are fighting the police. And, and this, I'm not even talking about these cases, but this is going on everywhere. What this has done is create a divide in this nation. And it hasn't just created a divide onto one or two parts. What I'm talking about is it's created a divide over multiple factions, okay? You got the government and you got the media pushing one narrative. You got people on the street pushing another. And then, you got other people that are just standing by watching. But this is what I was leading to, because, I don't want to get into the court cases. I don't know anything about them other than what I've seen on TV, the same as you do. But what I want to get into is this, and what I want to make a comparison here is this, is it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. It does not matter who's right or wrong for what I'm fixing to say. Is we do watch a lot of riots on both sides. We've seen things burn. We've seen people get injured, and nothing happened. Okay. But yet we expel Russian diplomats. Okay. This country, I guess what I'm trying to say is this country is fractured. And this country is fractured, to a point that I never imagined it would be. When I grew up, people were people. I grew up in South Carolina, and it's a small town. And, we all got along except for the people you didn't get along with. And it wasn't because of the way they looked. It was because of whether you could talk to them or not. If you could talk to somebody, have a decent conversation, then you're cool. And if somebody didn't, then, you might have had a problem. But what I'm trying to say is that we're being divided by the very people that tell us they're out to protect us. If you're out to protect us, then why are you splitting us? Why are you splitting us and telling us one half is wrong and the other half is right? Why are you taking sides every 4 years? That's what's ridiculous. That's what's ridiculous with our government these days. I mean, I used to be proud to be an American, and I'm still proud. But sometimes I look around at other headlines. I look around at other headlines in the world, and I see what people are saying about America, and I can't blame them. I can't blame them, and you can't either. Look at the state of our nation, and it's only getting worse. It's not getting better. It's not like we're going to wake up tomorrow and then everything's going to be okay. We're going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to have progressed that much worse. It's going to progress that much worse. And we allow it. The media has admitted to it. The government throws it in our face. We are just average citizens of this country. We're the ones who this country is supposed to be based on. I don't care if you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're Asian. It doesn't matter. All that matters is where you stand and what you believe as an individual. And what I mean by that is, are you willing to support your fellow man? Are you willing to stand beside your neighbor? Or are you going to fall in line with this government and, just be a sheep? And that's the real question. Amen on that. Satan's influence will grow stronger every day until God decides it's enough. Trust in God and God only. Thank you for speaking, Aaron. And that is so true. That is so true. And, I'm a Christian man and I don't make no secret about that. I'm a sinner. I make mistakes just like we all do. But, I do the right thing. My granddaddy told me, it's not hard to do the right thing. He said it's hard to know what the right thing is. And that's the truth. And that is the absolute truth. It's easy to do what's right. It's just hard to figure out what's right. And right now, we're being faced with so many different people telling us this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. We need to shut them out. And we need to make those decisions for ourselves. The people that are in power, good point, Dr. Pepper. The people that are in power are not going to go quietly. They are going to do everything they can to maintain that power. And believe me, that will be at your expense. It will be at my expense. It will be at everybody in this nation and this world's expense, as long as they can stay on top. And, for me personally, I would really hate to feel like that I got to sacrifice other people just so that I can feel like I'm a man. I mean, what kind of a man are you if you got to do that? And that's what I say to those elite. What kind of people are you that you're going to sacrifice the people that you consider below you? Hell, we are the people that make your world turn, but yet you refuse to see it. Great. This is good. Tyranny isn't created by tyrants. It's created by those that comply and obey. That's one of the most true statements I've heard. And there's something along those lines that said, what is it? Evil wins when good men do nothing. Something to that effect. I love that statement, Eric's. I love it. I'm probably going to use that in one of my videos. I hope you don't mind. That's true too. That is so true. Elite are just bankrupt businessmen. They hold nothing but debt. And you think about that. That's absolutely true. They own companies that are bankrupt and are in debt, but yet they still live in their $100 million mansions. They still get to spend money like crazy. Now, I'm not a money hungry dude. I would rather personally to hang out with my family on a Saturday night than I would to fly to Paris or something. I mean, that's just me. But you got these people like that they will sacrifice everything. And I want you to think about that. If you have a businessman that owns bankrupt businesses, and that's absolutely true, 100% true, what are they doing in the background to keep afloat? What are they doing to keep afloat? How much money do you think the rich spend to keep their dirty little secrets from hitting the internet every month? How much do you think they're spending? I don't know, but I bet it's more money than I'll ever see. Free thinker. Free thinker. The only way we will ever make the government and the elites listen is to stop giving them money. Where do you think they get their money from? The elites, yeah, they you know, they don't get their money off a printing press. We are their printing press because we buy their products. We pay their taxes. Verizon charged me $10 extra this month. I'm not going to argue with them. My power bill went up this month. I'm not going to argue with them. I mean, that's how they stay rich, is because we don't argue with them. I always said, and I absolutely 100% believe this, if everybody in America sat home for 2 weeks and didn't spend a penny, that they would shut up and they would listen to us, because it's our money they want. Because without our money, guess what? They don't have none, because their money is tied up. Yeah, they got millions, but I mean, most of it's tied up into these businesses that are manufacturing products like iPhones, like Androids, like everything else there. And if we stop buying that stuff for 2 weeks, where would that put them? They would panic. They would panic at that point, because they'd be like, hold on, I didn't make $100 million this week. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And if everybody in America stopped spending money, and it'll never happen, but if they did for 2 weeks, they would shut up and they would listen to us. But here's the problem with that, is that most, and I'm not talking about anybody here tonight, but I'm saying most people in America don't have the willpower to do that. They're not willing to stay at home for 2 weeks. They're not willing to say, all right, I'm not going out and buy this, new pair of shoes tomorrow, or this new jacket tomorrow, or whatever it is. They're not willing to do that. They're going to go keep spending that money, and then they're going to turn a blind eye and wear their rose-colored glasses, acting like nothing's wrong. And those are going to be the people that come running to you in the end saying, please help me. And, and I'm going to sound a little cold here, and I don't mean to. Well, maybe I do, but we see TV. We have internet. We have cell phones that show us anything in the world we want to see. I can go on my cell phone and I can view anything. I can go on my computer. I can view anything. I can turn on the TV. I can have my TV, my cell phone, my computer all running at the same time. And I think you can see in the background, my TV is still running. So we can take in all this information, And most people cannot decipher between that and between what they really need to do as individuals or as family members. Free thinker, that's something I do. Change your payroll to not paying any tax. I'm glad I don't make any money on YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of people on YouTube that make a ton of money. I mean, you see a lot of them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying nothing bad about anybody. More power to them. I hope they make all the money they want. But as long as I run this business on YouTube and I lose money, somehow I don't owe any taxes. And I'll just leave that to your imagination. So, yeah, I don't pay any payroll taxes either, because I lose a lot of money on my online businesses. Falling skies, yes. The super rich get their money from war. They get their money from war in 3 ways. 1, gearing up for war. 2, during the war, the production. And 3, then gearing down for more and refurbishing all the machinery to produce commercial products again. It's an endless cycle. We're gearing up, we're fighting, we're gearing down. Then we're gearing up again, we're fighting, we're gearing down. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's give away one of these right now, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and we'll give away the other one. How do y'all feel about that? Sound good? This is the giveaway. It's the Porta Wipes. I know this isn't a big package, but you can stick this in your bug out bag, and you guaranteed 10 good wipings. I don't know how else to say it, but 10 good wipings off this. And it's the Porta Wipes. They are actually fairly inexpensive. You can get those on multiple places, Amazon, eBay. I like eBay. And I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I like eBay for one reason, is because people like me sell on eBay, just the average person. On Amazon, everything is a big business, and 90% is coming from China to here, stored in a warehouse, and then flown to your house with a drone or delivered. Amazon is China. eBay, eBay, the delivery is not overnight. Like Amazon has that. How do you think they do that? I mean, honestly, think about the logistics of that. 1 million people ordering a product tonight, and they still deliver that product by 6 o'clock tomorrow. That tells you, they've got it stored up somewhere. And then when you look on the product, it says made in China. Well, if it's made in China, obviously you're storing millions of these here in the U.S. So I'm about done with Amazon. The main reason I like eBay is because it's average people selling on eBay. Most of your eBay sellers are people like me and you, just trying to make a few extra bucks, But anyway, all right, I'm going to write down a number here, and it's going to be between 1 and 100. And the first person to guess this number will get the first pack. Well, no, I'll tell you what. Let's make it 2 packs. 2 packs per giveaway, because one, that's sort of small. Let's do 2. So you're going to get 2 packs, or 20 rolls, I should say. 20 rolls, because 20 won't fit in this. I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag, but 20 rolls of your Porta Wipes. And I'm going to write down that in just a second. Trying to I hope y'all are be patient with me. I know y'all have. Y'all been great. Thank you. I thought I had a little caption to put up right here that said giveaway, but there it is. I see it now. But I'm still learning this software here. It's good software. I like it a lot. It's called Restream. If you do YouTube, I recommend it, because if you notice, the quality of my videos, as far as the clarity of the picture, has dramatically increased as opposed to just broadcasting through YouTube. And that's what's crazy, is because I'm using the same camera and the same audio that, I was broadcasting through YouTube with, and my quality was crap coming through YouTube, but now it's much better. All right. I got the number. Let's go. And I'm looking. Nope. Nothing yet. Y'all high. I'll tell you high tonight. Oh, damn, maybe you are. I don't know. But the numbers are high. No. Whoa, they're popping up. These numbers popping up quick. I don't want to miss anything. No. Oh, somebody close. Real close. Oh, 2 people really close. 3 people really close. 4 people really close. Oh, almost. And I hope I know. Oh, there we go. Artist. Let me share your number there. and I will show mine. Let me scroll down here, find the right one. Okay. There we go. 21. Artist. All right. I'm an artist too, believe it or not. I actually went to the Governor's School of the Arts in South Carolina for 2 times, 2 years in a row. Once for writing and once for, art, drawing. It was pretty good. I actually got some published works on that. But all right, artist, if you will send me an email at Survivor Serious Survivor.com. Oh, that's all right. All right. All right. I spelled that wrong. Hold on. And make sure to put in there, the prize that you won, because there was 2 prizes that was won on the last live stream, and they will go out tomorrow along with these. I usually ship out on Fridays, so to do it all at once. So they will go out tomorrow. So for the people that won last week or I think it was Saturday, Sunday, something like that. Whoever won that one, they will go out in the morning, and I will give you some tracking number updates to your email. So make sure to tell me what you won in there, and you won 2 of the Porta wipes. Oh, that's upside down. Porta wipes. All right. Guys, I got to take a short break. I will be right back. We'll talk about a little bit more, and we'll give away the other items. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. And congratulations to the winner on that prize. And hopefully, it'll help you out one day. I take those with me on camping trip. Well, we've been on this lockdown for so long. I haven't been able. That's funny, Billy Bird. But I made it back. I didn't fall. But I hope you enjoy it. I'll get that out tomorrow along with the other from last weekend. We still got one more to give away in a little bit, not too long from now. But the whole thing for me is just that we're in a place we've never been before. We're really in a place we've never been before. We've been threatened by other countries. You look back at, a lot of people like to look back and they like to compare this to, a lot of other things. There's nothing in our history, no single time in our history that we can compare what's going on now to. And the reason for that is because we're faced with so much. I mean, we have this pandemic. No matter what our thoughts on it are, we're forced to behave like there's a pandemic. And, I'm just going to leave it there on that because I sort of like being able to make videos on YouTube, and they tend to kick me off of YouTube when I talk about the virus. So, but we're in a pandemic. One that I read some numbers. I just got to say this. I'm from Oconee County, South Carolina, a population of about 75,000 people. I ran the math on it today. And according to the coronavirus numbers down there, about 1 out of every 4 people have tested positive for the coronavirus. And I'm like, my great granddaddy had 26 kids. I'm kin to half of Georgia and a large portion of South Carolina. And 1 out of 4 people testing positive for this is a total lie. That's an absolute lie, especially where I come from. I can't speak for other parts of the nation, but I can speak where I come from, and that's an absolute false statement. I know too many people, and I don't know many people that got it. I know people that got the vaccine. I work with a couple of guys that got it, one younger guy, and he did good. He's a young guy, 30, in good shape. He works out all the time, and he's he's a Democrat, and I give him a hard time about that. But, honestly, we don't let that get in the way. He's still a friend of mine. I like the guy. He's cool. Another guy I work with, and he's sort of in the middle politically, and I don't really care about that. I just care about, are you cool or you're not? Can we talk or can we not? And I don't judge anybody. Oh, you're a Democrat, I'm not going to talk to you. No, it's not like that. But he took the vaccine. He took the 2-shot vaccine, right? The first one, he had to miss work for 2 weeks. I'm not going to say his name, or anything like that, but he missed work for 2 weeks, sick as a dog, took the vaccine, couldn't get out of, couldn't function. Let's put it like this. These are online classes that we're teaching right now because, I teach robotics classes right now, and he does too. And to teach an online class is, I hate to say it, but, it's easy, especially when you've been in robotics as long as I have, 30 years, teaching robotics online is a pretty easy task. So for him to miss work, and knowing this guy who likes to work a lot of overtime, he likes to work. I mean, he work 80 hours a week if you let him. And he called in from an online class. So this dude was pretty sick. And I know the guy pretty well because I've been working with him for 1.5 years now. And so I know him pretty well. We talk a lot. Dude was sick from the first shot of the vaccine. So then he gets the second shot. So he finally comes back to work. He gets the second shot. And he didn't miss any work, but he comes into work and he's like, all sort of hunched over, coughing like crazy. And I'm like, what, are you sick, man? He said, no, I got the second shot. I said, well, how you feeling? Oh, I feel good. Cough, cough, cough. And I'm like, oh, really, man? And, he's a good guy. And I'm not saying anything negative about him, but I'm just saying this vaccine seems to be worse than the disease. I mean, for the people that I know that have had it, the people that I know that got the vaccine, I'm not getting it. I'm not a guinea pig. Like I said before, I'm 50. If my time's tomorrow, I've lived a full life. But if it ain't, then I'll just keep on living. But I'm certainly not getting a vaccine that was put into production in June of 2020, 3 months after we were put on quarantine. Well, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to take a vaccine that the federal government had to sign a waiver on. They had to sign a waiver saying that nobody can sue you, company, if this vaccine kills everybody. Nobody can sue any of these vaccine manufacturers. You know that, right? Nobody can sue them because our government that loves us so much put that into the clause. Yeah, bring out this vaccine, but we guarantee nobody can sue you if it hurts somebody. And as we've all seen, it's not perfect. I would like to say a whole lot more. I'm just trying not to get kicked off my, channel here. But I think everybody here has seen the different effects that this has had on other people. And we're talking about detrimental effects. We're talking about mental effects. We're talking about psychological health effects, all different aspects of it. And, all I know is that when somebody tells me that they've got a shot they're going to give me, and I'm not talking about the vaccine anymore, YouTube, not talking about the vaccine. If anybody's got a shot they're going to give me and they tell me that it's going to alter my DNA, I'm not taking that shot. I'm not taking that shot. But here's the crazy thing. The Johnson & Johnson shot, right? The Johnson & Johnson shot that was taken off the market, that's been paused, or however you want to put it, that has been stopped, is the only shot that does not alter a person's mRNA, which are the building blocks for your DNA. The only shots that are available alter your mRNA, your DNA. So, what can you say? What can you say without mainstream media telling you that you're wrong? Oh, you're paranoid. You're just believing in the lies. Well, if I believe the lies, I would watch CNN more. We live in a crazy world, folks. We live in a very crazy world. Right now, our nation is divided. And this is what kills me. It's divided on TV. But when I talk to people in public, we're good. I have friends, here up north in Michigan. I have friends down south in South Carolina. And my friends, I don't differentiate against or about, however you want to put that, over where we were born or what we look like. We are friends because we get along. And that's the way most Americans are. We can get along. Think about it. It's not people on the street. It's not somebody you meet on the street that's telling you we can't get along. It's the TV and the internet that's telling you we can't get along. And why? Why? Why are they telling us that? Other than to divide us. Other than to divide us. There would be absolutely no reason for them to tell us that unless they were attempting to divide us. Because if they were attempting to unite us with the wide range of the audience that these big media companies have, wouldn't they be saying things like, we should love one another, we should get along, we should all just work together? When's the last time you heard that from CNN? No, you don't hear that from them. You hear, oh, we are divided. People do not get along. I mean, y'all know what we hear. And that's what's really concerning, is because by dividing America internally, you're opening it up to an external invasion. And think about, you got two groups in America, and it's more than that. But I'm just saying, you break it up, the media divides us and they make us say, they just split us up. I don't know how else to put it. It's sort of hard to explain as far as what I'm thinking. But with all of the external threats that we've got going on right now, with all the external threats, if we were to be invaded by another country, how easy would it be for that other country to persuade one of these sides in America that have been divided to fight with them? So now we're fighting an internal enemy and an external enemy. And this is what's concerning. This is what's really concerning, is because since we are so divided, it's very possible that we will not only split, but the other side will take and band with these forces that are coming from the outside towards us. Yeah. I like that comment right here. I find funny how they can't find a cure for cancer, but within 6 months, they have a vaccine. Yeah. I mean, we have diseases that have been plaguing us, forever. You start talking about the cold, you start talking about cancer, you start talking about heart disease, you start talking about, different things that can go on with people's brains and stuff like that. Why don't they work that hard at stopping cancer? Why don't they? Because if they put that time and effort into cancer, then, maybe they could stop it. But the thing is, you can't politicize cancer. That's why you can't politicize it, because we've known about cancer for too long. Cancer is an enemy of the world. And if somebody beats cancer, then they're a hero to the world. If somebody beats, with this coronavirus thing, they're politicizing it. And just like we saw in that article earlier tonight, the CNN executive admitted that this virus is being politicized. And, I'll tell you, you think about the number of cases in the United States. You take the number of known cases in the United States and you divide that into the population in the United States. And right now, as of earlier this morning, when I did that calculation, 1 out of 9 people in the United States have tested positive for COVID. Now, personally, I don't believe that, because I know a lot of people, and I only know a couple that have tested positive for it. Well, y'all know back in January, I had my thing with it. But other than that, it's not 1 out of 9 people. How do you figure that? And then they try to say, well, as many people as have tested positive are walking around and don't know they got it. Okay, so if that's true, then that means 1 out of 4 people in the United States have COVID. Okay, they have COVID. So what, should we all get a vaccine? Well, half the people aren't. Yeah, a lot of people will. A lot of people already have. But I'm not. I'll go live in the woods where I do that, because you got your mask on. There you go. You good, man. You good. As long as you got that mask on, you ain't going to get sick. It's amazing, though, how these coronavirus rules only apply when the government wants them to apply. Think about that. It only applies when they want it to apply. All right. If we're all supposed to wear masks and we're all supposed to stay 6 feet apart, then why is anybody at work right now? Now, I want to be at work. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to sit home. But, with the restrictions they impose, I mean, I go to my work and, I don't really care anymore. But I go to my work and they have this rule. Only 2 people can be back in the area I work in. But then my boss calls me in and there's 5 of us back there. And I'm like, hold up. Didn't you say only 2 could be back here? Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, so the coronavirus rules only apply when they benefit big companies and the government. They only apply then. I mean, you think about it. People say, well, the coronavirus shot is free. No, it's not. Somebody's paying for it. Somebody's paying for that. You might go, somebody might go to the health department, get that coronavirus shot for free. But my tax dollars are paying for that. Your tax dollars are paying for that. Nothing's free. We know that. There ain't nothing in America free. Not even air. Nothing's free. We pay for it one way or another. And good point. 0.03% death rate. The whole world has to get vaccinated because there's this disease that kills less people than the flu did a couple years ago, because these numbers are inflated. And it's obvious. I mean, the numbers from my county, I did a lot of research into this, and I actually put out a video that got striked. And I got, that's what got me banned for like a week, a little while back. And this video was, here it goes again. I get banned again, but I don't care. Here it goes again, is there are more reported coronavirus deaths in the county that I own property in, Oconee County, South Carolina. There are more reported corona death cases than there were actual deaths. The number was twice as many coronavirus deaths than was reported with the county coroner. I'm talking the official death toll that come from the county was half of what the CDC reported as deaths in that county. And then I started looking at some of the deaths, and I was like, okay, 89 years old, 95 years old, 78 years old. And I don't want nobody to die, but I mean, just to be realistic, if I get pneumonia at 50, there's a very good chance, if without medical treatment, I'm going to die. And this kind of fudging of the numbers is what really drives me crazy when people say, well, coronavirus deaths are up. Well, you know what? Coronavirus deaths might be up, but guess what? Nobody's dying of a heart attack anymore. Nobody's dying of strokes anymore. Nobody's dying of the flu anymore. There were 17, not 117, not 1,017, 17 confirmed cases of the flu between September and December 31st of last year. When in history have there only been that many cases of the flu? And I'm basing those numbers off the CDC's website. And I remember that number because I was blown away. I looked at it and I was thinking to myself, how can they even publish this? Because when you publish the fact that you only are stating there's 17 flu cases in the entire United States between September and December 31st of 2020, and there was almost 500,000 the year before. So we went from that to 17. What, is there a cure for the flu now? No, there's not. It just got renamed. That's all it was. It got renamed. And there's so many people out there that just listen to those little news headlines and they fall for this crap. And, at this point in time, I it's almost to the point where we don't even care anymore if they believe it or not. I'm not going to try and convince anybody anymore. I'm not going to talk to my coworkers that don't believe in it anymore, because, hey, you have access to the same information I do. If you're going to close your eyes, close your ears because you don't want to hear it, then suffer your fate. Because the information is out there and people like me are presenting it. And what happens when we present it? We get banned. We get shadow banned. We get kicked off. And it's not because we're, trying to gain fame or fortune. It's just because, it's the truth. It's the truth. And people need to know that. People don't need to walk around in fear of some disease that has a death rate less than that of the flu. I mean, you're more likely to die in a car accident tomorrow than you are of coronavirus. You're more likely to commit suicide than you are die of coronavirus. You're more likely to die of about 100 different things than you are of coronavirus. And that's the absolute truth. Anybody that argues them numbers is not researching them numbers. And the numbers are out there. But we are at a pivotal time. And what really concerns me is to see what we see going on in our streets, the riots, the looting, the burning. I want you to picture something. I want you to picture what's going on in Minneapolis. City's burning. They're not burning the whole city. I know it's isolated. That's true. It's isolated to a part of that city. And I'm not trying to blow it out of proportion. That's what it is. But imagine if there was no law enforcement there. Yeah, they're not doing anything, but at least they're there. Imagine if there's none there. Imagine if the grid goes down. Imagine if it goes down right now. And you've got these riots going on. Do you think these riots will stop when the grid goes down? When the police go home? When the military goes home? Do you think the riots will stop? They won't stop. They'll be more empowered at that point. They will expand. Think about the riots you see right now on TV. Well, if you can see it on TV, because they don't even hardly play it anymore. The riots you see in Minnesota all across the nation with no power, no cell phone, nothing but you and whatever you have in your home to defend yourself against 100 rioters in your street. Do you have those preps? Do you have a team necessary? Allies, a group? If you live in a community, it doesn't matter if you like your neighbor. It matters that you can count on your neighbor to fight with you if you have to. Yeah, cops will band together with their families. They're going to leave you behind. For those that think police officers, firemen, EMS are going to stay on the job, and I'm not saying anything negative about any of those people, they're going to do the same thing me and you do, and they're going to go home to their families. There will be nobody on the street but rioters and those who oppose them. And they will come to your house. They will come to your neighborhood. They're not going to stop once downtown burns. They're going to be like, let's do this to everything. Why not? If there's nothing stopping them. We are at a pivotal point in this nation, and it's the only thing we can do right now. People talk about politics. People talk about running for office. Yeah, that's great. 2 years from now, do it. But other than that, what we really have to focus on is making sure that you, your family, and the people around you not only are taken care of, the most important thing is to make sure you have means to defend yourself. Because unless there's a nuclear apocalypse or something like that, there will be food in the wild. There will be places you can fish and places you can hunt if you can make it there. But you can't make it there unless you can defend yourself and your family. And this is the most important aspect in these kind of times. We're not talking about a collapse, like some kind of movie that, you're just going to be out roaming the wild. You're going to have to fight your way out of some places. You're going to have to defend yourself. You're going to have to defend your family. Because people that come for you and come for your goods and come for my goods, come for my preps, they're not going to take no for an answer. And those people are already out on the streets. They're already not taking no for an answer. They're setting shit on fire. They're burning police stations. They're doing stuff like that. And I mean, how much worse can it get before we really look at the situation and say, I got to be able to protect myself. I know that I have means of protecting myself, and I hope everybody out there does. But not just the means of doing it, but, go to the shooting range, practice the stuff, practice it. And practice like your life depends on it, because it does. Yeah, that's true, Daniel. Everybody has guns, just because I have a gun doesn't mean I'm going to be safe, because these people that are coming for me are probably going to have guns too. And it's not like they're coming for me. They're coming for what I got, or they're coming to make a statement. And, as many guns as there are in the world, not just in America, there's a very good chance that most people you run across in this type of situation will be armed, at least with a gun or a knife. And you have to be prepared not just to pull that gun. Don't ever pull a gun if you're not going to use it. So you have to be prepared to use that gun. You have to be prepared to use it. All right. Well, let's do the last giveaway, y'all, and we'll probably call it a night. So we know what we got right here. We got two more of these. And I know they'll come in handy because, well, I was going to say I've used them before, but I haven't used these particular ones before, just to let you know. But, so these will come in very handy, camping trips and things like that. But, before I start the thing, I want everybody to know that, we should be optimistic. And what I mean by that is we should believe in ourselves and believe in those around us. If we stand together, if you prepare now and you have the supplies you need and you have a means to defend yourself, that's the best start we can make. Now, if you reach out to your fellow neighbor and you say, hey, look, I don't know you that well, but if things happen here, can we work together? And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I'm blessed because I have a huge family. So I have a lot of people working with me. But I know a lot of people don't have as huge of a family as I have. And, you may have to reach out to your neighbor. And don't be afraid to. Because the worst thing they're going to say is no. And if they say no, then you already know right there, then that's one of the ones that'll be coming your way when shit does hit the fan. So, at least you can help identify who will help you and who will not if you reach out. But if you don't reach out, then how do you know when that person that comes to your door after it happens is sincere when they say, hey, I want to help, but you've never spoken to them before? Because a lot of people are a good actor, A lot of people can lie to you in their face. We all know that. So reach out to the people around you. The worst they can say is no. And if they say no and your neighbor on the other side says no, then that pretty much solidifies things for you. I got a neighbor here that won't work with me. The one on my other side that won't work with me. Well, then when this does happen, I better get out of town. I'm not bugging in. I'm getting out of town. This can help formulate your plan. All right. So let's do this, and then I'll let you guys go for the night. It's 10 o'clock here Eastern time. I'm going to write down another number between 1 and 100. And go. I hear you, Ski Man. A lot of vets in the neighborhood. Oh, close. Did I see the name Jonathan Berry on there? That's my cousin's name. That's why I was asking that. Oh, I hope I didn't miss nothing. Let me scroll down. Nope. All right. Oh. Y'all are getting low. Y'all are getting used to my low numbers I've been picking. Getting closer. Oh, that says John. All right. That's it. I'm sorry. I thought it said Jonathan Berry. That's my cousin's name. No. Oh, somebody's real close. Close again. Let's see. Close again. Close. I'll tell you, it's a high number because everybody's guessing low. It's a high number. Oh, real close. Real close. Use one off. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Right there. Prep Brothers Homestead. Let me make sure I got the name right because I don't have my glasses on. Scroll all the way down to the bottom here. All right. The number was 94, and it was Prep Brothers Homestead. I believe that was the name. I'll share the number again. Let me make sure I get back up to it so I can share it for everybody to see. There we go. Right there. Prep Brothers Homestead. And you can see the number is 94. 94. 94. So you, my friend, have won 2 porta wipes. Or 20 porta wipes, I should say. Not 2. Not 2. All right. All right. And make sure to email me at Survivor. And anybody out there, if you have any questions, if you just want to holler at me, you can use that email too. Sometimes, I try to check my email as much as I can, but sometimes it takes like a day or two for me to get back to somebody. And so don't take no offense if you send me an email and it takes me a minute to get it back. But if anybody out there has any questions, also any requests for videos, I'm actually got a lot of videos working on right now. The next video I have that will be coming out, I think I will have out Saturday morning, but it could be out Saturday evening. But I wanted to do a live cast Saturday too, so I'm trying to get this out earlier, maybe tomorrow. And what it's looking at is basically it's just going to be a video talking about how it's hard to trust people and how we need to look at different situations after a serious collapse, because y'all know I don't do videos about weekend power outages. I do videos about total collapses, and it's going to be out. I really am hoping Saturday morning, but I want to put some time into this one. I want to make sure it's got some really good information in it. I've already got it recorded. I just haven't got it fully edited yet, and that's the long part, is editing it. And I will have it out this weekend though, if not by Friday evening, but something like that. And so congratulations to the winners on the prizes tonight. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. And I hope everybody enjoyed the live cast. We're going to do another one Saturday night, and we're going to talk about some different things Saturday night. A lot of them will be similar, because everything going on right now is similar. We got collapses in the world. We got fighting in the U.S. So we're just going to talk about a whole lot more, and we're going to try and get more in depth on a lot of that. So I hope y'all have a good night. I wish you a good weekend. And if you can tune in, then I'll see you Saturday night. Have a good one. God bless everybody. Serious Survivor out.